Hey pipe smokers, this is Briarleaf00 and this is my entry into Ericsrandomworld's 300 subs contest. Now first, before I get started, let me say congratulations Eric on your 300 subs. Making these videos is a lot of fun, and it's even more fun when you know people are actually watching. So congratulations, I'm sure you appreciate it a lot. So the terms of your contest were to either review a blend from your local tobacconist or a blend you haven't tried. Now, unfortunately, my local tobacconist here in Raleigh does not blend his own mixtures. So instead, I'm going to go with a blend from my old tobacconist, my old quasi-local tobacconist from Massachusetts, which is where I grew up. And this kind of is a little bit of column A and B as well, because this is also a blend that I purchased, jarred up, and never tried. So I kind of stuck it in a bin, completely forgot about it. And so when you announced your contest, I went rummaging through the bin. I found this blend. I said, hey, this works perfect. So without further ado, let's take a quick look at this one, and then I'll get into my impromptu review. Okay. The name of this blend, as you can see as I've written it down, is B94, and it is blended by L.J. Peretti of Boston. Now let's take a quick look at this one inside the jar. This is an air-cured Burley and Black Cavendish blend with a rum topping and a ribbon cut. Pour a little bit out here. It's very fine, and it's almost sort of Q-cut, really. They say ribbon, and there certainly are some ribbons, but there's also these thick, square, burly chunks. And the smell from the tin is a very sort of old-fashioned smell, very much reminiscent of Cake Box by Leave It and Pierce. If there are any New England pipe smokers watching, you'll be at least somewhat familiar with that blend, I'd imagine. All right. Okay. Now that I've just got like a few puffs left of this one, I'm going to go ahead and this is sort of a review / initial thoughts. The only thing that'll change here between my normal reviews is I'm not going to give it a score at the end because I just haven't spent enough time with it. But I do feel that I can give some initial opinions at least. Now, to start off, I'm just going to talk about some of the flavors that hit me right off the bat. And the first one is this sort of what I think of as like an old-fashioned flavor. It's you know, I thought long and hard about this one, and while I was smoking it, and I had a hard time just defining exactly what that is. And now I think part of it might be sort of a scent memory of people early on when I was a child, the people in the family, like my grandfather who used to smoke a pipe, sort of the smells that the house would fill up with when he'd come by. The taste of this blend is very reminiscent of those smells. And unfortunately, I can't get too much further into it because I just don't have the necessary sort of vocabulary to be able to explain it. I will say that there's a little bit of a hint of a molasses-like sweetness about this one. Now, I think the burley here is very nice. It's slightly sweet, and it's also, I found, and am finding, as I'm still smoking it, of course, that I am not able to get any bitterness out of it, which is actually quite nice. And there really aren't many burleys out there that I can say that about. Unfortunately, I think when you hit a burley too hard and you smoke it too hard, it turns bitter. And this one just won't do it, and that's very pleasant. The Cavendish, the Black Cavendish, is lightly sweet, and luckily it doesn't have much of that kind of burning rubber flavor that some Cavendishes do have. Very pleasant. Now, like I said earlier, this is a rum-topped blend. I don't taste an awful lot of rum. I think mostly it probably just imparts a light sweetness to it. Now, okay. Now I want to talk about a little bit of the other side of the flavors that I'm getting here. And what I do get out of this one, and I do get it from other LJ Peretti blends, is a light but distinct floral flavor from this one. And all of you Lakeland smokers, particularly those who are partial to Gawith and Hogarth's blends, will absolutely understand what I'm talking about when I say this has floral notes. Very much in that, in a similar vein to those Lakeland blends. Now, the fine folks at LJ Peretti will swear up and down that they do not add any floral flavorings to their blends. Well, I'm not going to get into what I think about that and whether I think that's true or not. I think they're good folks and they run an absolutely wonderful shop. All I can say is that I taste it, and this is a tobacco review, and I've got to be honest and just give you what I get, and that's what I get. I get like I said, a light but absolutely distinct floral flavor from this one. Okay, moving on. I get absolutely no bite from start to finish. This is very, very smooth. Of course, a couple of years in the jar probably helped soften some of those rough edges, if there ever were any. But I'd still think that this would be a good one, right out of the pouch. The strength, I would put this one at mild to medium. Now, I think that this would make a very nice sort of all-day blend. It's uncomplicated, but there's actually enough going on that it'll keep your interest. But for me, because it's a mild to medium in strength, and because it's so easy on the palate, and I don't get any fatigue or tongue bite, this is a type of blend that really appeals to me for a daytime type blend. I think this would also appeal to people who like Lakeland blends because of that floral note. I think if you're really into Lakeland blends and like that floral note and would like to smoke a predominantly burley blend that sort of also has that interesting side to things, this could be one for you. You might like it. Also, now, if I were to take out those floral notes, and sometimes if I puff it really, really light, those notes don't come through at all, or they come through just just a tiny, tiny bit. This blend is somewhat reminiscent to GLP's Barbary Coast, which is a burley blend that I really love, and it's fairly similar to this one, except Barbary Coast has Perique and is topped with brandy, if I'm not mistaken. This one's topped with rum and does not have Perique, but there's sort of a similar flavor running through this blend, running through both blends, I should say. Now instead of giving this one a score, I'm just going to go and give it a thumbs up or thumbs down, and for Peretti's B94, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Worth a shot, absolutely. A very pleasant blend, I must say. Well, I'd like to thanks everybody for watching. I'd especially like to thank Eric for putting on this contest. Thank you very much, Eric. And as always, I look forward to watching more of your videos, and hopefully we'll do this again when you get 600 subscribers. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you enjoyed the review. Take it easy.